The moment Daniel Reyes slid his resignation letter across the desk, his hands were shaking, not from fear, but from exhaustion so deep it felt like grief. If you've ever had to choose between your job and the person you love most in the world, stay with me until the end of this story, because what happened next changed a father's life forever. And before we go any further, if stories like this move you, inspire you, or remind you why kindness still matters, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. It truly helps these stories reach more hearts like yours. Daniel was 36, a single father, and so tired that even sleep felt like work. His mornings started before sunrise, when the apartment was silent except for the hum of the refrigerator and the soft breathing of his daughter, Sophia, in the next room. She was 7 years old, bright, curious, and fighting a chronic illness that came without warning. Some days she was strong enough to laugh and run. Other days, she couldn't even lift her head from the pillow. Daniel learned to live in that uncertainty, measuring time not in hours but in symptoms. For 5 years, Daniel had worked at one of the largest tech firms in the city. The pay was good, the benefits were solid, and the CEO, though distant, was known for being fair. Daniel had never missed a deadline, never complained, never asked for special treatment. He worked late nights, answered emails from hospital waiting rooms, and learned how to smile in meetings while his phone vibrated silently with updates from doctors. But the day Sophia collapsed at school and the nurse called him in tears, something inside Daniel broke. The doctors used words like, manageable, and, with proper care, but proper care required time Daniel no longer had. Between emergency visits, therapy sessions, and nights when Sophia cried herself to sleep because she was scared she wouldn't wake up, Daniel realized he was failing at the one job that truly mattered. So he made the hardest decision of his life. He quit. His manager looked stunned. "Are you sure?" she asked gently. Daniel nodded, eyes down. "I can't lose her," he whispered. "And I'm already losing everything else." The weeks after quitting were quieter, but heavier. The apartment felt smaller without the routine of work. Bills stacked up on the kitchen table like silent accusations. Daniel sold his car, canceled subscriptions, and learned how to stretch a bag of rice for days. At night, when Sophia slept, he sat by the window, wondering if he'd ruined their future by trying to save her present. One rainy Thursday evening, 3 months after he quit, there was a knock at the door. Daniel wasn't expecting anyone. He opened it cautiously, still wearing an old hoodie with paint stains from a job he'd taken patching walls for neighbors. Standing in the hallway was a tall man in a dark coat, rain dripping from his hair, eyes sharp but kind. "Daniel Reyes?" the man asked. "Yes," Daniel replied, confused. "I'm Michael Harrington," the man said. "CEO of Harrington Systems." Daniel froze. For a moment, he thought this was a joke. The CEO didn't know him. He was just another employee, former employee, lost in a sea of thousands. "I hope I'm not intruding," Michael continued. "May I come in?" Inside the small apartment, Michael took in the worn furniture, the medical supplies stacked neatly on a shelf, and the crayon drawings taped proudly to the wall. One caught his eye, a stick figure father holding hands with a tiny girl, both smiling under a crooked sun. "You quit without asking for help," Michael said quietly. Daniel swallowed. "I didn't think help was an option." Michael shook his head slowly. "I accepted you quitting," he said, his voice firm but emotional, "not losing you." Those words landed like thunder. Michael explained that Daniel's absence had been noticed, not because of missed productivity, but because of the silence he left behind. Daniel had been the kind of employee who fixed problems before they became disasters, who stayed late not for praise but because he cared. When HR flagged his resignation, Michael asked why. What he learned bothered him deeply. "I built a company that prides itself on innovation," Michael said, "yet somehow we failed to innovate when one of our own was drowning." Daniel's eyes filled with tears he'd been holding back for months. "I didn't want pity," he said. "I just wanted to be a good father." Michael nodded. "Then let us help you do that." What followed felt unreal. The company reinstated Daniel, not to his old role, but to a fully remote position with flexible hours. His salary remained intact. His benefits were expanded. The company covered Sophia's treatments not as charity, but as policy. And perhaps most importantly, Daniel was told something he'd never heard before in his life: your family comes first. The work will wait. The first morning Daniel logged back in from home, Sophia sat beside him at the kitchen table, coloring quietly. When she looked up and asked, "Daddy, are you happy again?" Daniel didn't trust his voice, so he just nodded and hugged her. Months passed. Sophia grew stronger. Daniel found his rhythm again, not as a man torn between two worlds, but as someone finally allowed to live fully in both. And Michael didn't disappear after that night. He checked in, not as a boss, but as a human being. He asked about Sophia by name. He asked Daniel how he was coping. And slowly, the culture of the company began to change, because one decision made with compassion echoed outward. Years later, Daniel stood on a stage, telling his story to a room full of executives. He spoke not about profits or performance, but about trust, empathy, and the quiet strength of people who show up even when they're breaking inside. He ended with a simple truth. Sometimes, Daniel said, the most valuable employees aren't the ones who never struggle. They're the ones who struggle silently and still give everything they have. And sometimes, all it takes to save someone's life is a knock on the door. If this story touched you, if it reminded you to look twice at the people around you, please like this video and subscribe. Because stories like Daniel's aren't just meant to be heard, they're meant to be carried forward.